Well, this morning, Oregon state leaders spoke in favor of a bill that would be the first step towards renovating the Moda Center.
Supporters of the bill say it's needed to keep the Trailblazers in Portland for years to come. Fox 's Joe Mathiathil is here now to tell us about today's public hearing in the state capitol.
So, Kim and Sean, this hearing took place in front of the Senate Rules Committee. In 2024, the city of Portland bought the Moda Center from the Allen estate, of course, the former owners of the Trailblazers. Now the state is considering shared ownership of the Moda Center with the city. And the eventual plan would be to renovate what is currently the oldest arena in the NBA. Now, there have been questions surrounding the Moda Center, especially after the Blazers were sold to a new ownership group last year. So this bill would have the state pursue shared ownership of the arena with the city of Portland, which would then allow for the use of state bonds over a 20-year period to help finance renovations. The bill would also create the Oregon Arena Fund, which would receive tax revenues from wages earned by performers and athletes at the Moda Center, most notably NBA players who have an average salary of nearly $12 million a year. According to the city of Portland, the Moda Center creates approximately $600 million of annual economic activity. Governor Tina Kotek spoke at today's hearing, and she referenced the fact that other cities are trying to land an NBA team, including Seattle, which lost the Supersonics in 2008. Meanwhile, opponents of the bill say Blazers ownership, the new ownership, should foot the bill for any renovations.
Cities across the country are competing aggressively for professional sports teams. And I think we can all agree that the Blazers belong in Portland. Senate Bill 1501 provides what I think and what our elected leaders have come together to believe is a responsible, strategic path forward, a framework that we can build upon without raising taxes.
The investors, after spending over $4 billion, seem unwilling to invest a few more $100 million renovation dollars. Thus, Oregonians, especially the poor, will be paying for what should otherwise be the owner's financial responsibility.
Now, the Blazers' current lease with the Moda Center expires in fall of 2030. At today's hearing, Portland Mayor Keith Wilson and Multnomah County Chair Jessica Vega-Peterson said both the city and county would also contribute millions towards the Moda Center renovation. They said much of that money would likely come from things like ticket and arena parking fees, along with fees on rental cars. And supporters of the bill say it does not commit any money right now. This is simply what they say is the first step towards eventually signing a new long-term lease with the Blazers. Kim and Shauna, back to you.